Hi, I'm Jalen Rose, and welcome to the Renaissance Man podcast, proudly presented by the New York Post, a show where we cover trends in fashion, entertainment, current events, and everything in between. My next guest is a two-time Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, mother, daughter, actress, and former original member of Destiny's Child, who has a recurring role on the second season of my favorite show, Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, as well as successful fashion collaborations with stylist Jay Bolin. And it's more, just in time for the holidays. Do you see that Christmas tree behind her? Her mom hooked it up. And it's only right now she's starring in the new BET movie, A Miracle Before Christmas, featuring my nephew, Romeo Miller. It's available now on BET Plus, and we have its broadcast premiere on BET. So check that out on December 23rd. It is my honor to welcome the uber talented LeToya Luckett to the Renaissance Man podcast. Welcome.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you.
Well deserved. I'm a huge fan, and I know about your upbringing as it relates to representing for Houston. So please give us a snapshot of what it was like growing up in Houston and how it shaped you.
Oh my gosh. A lot of times people are like, of course, they're always going to feel like their city is the best city. But honestly, like, you can see how many icons came out of Houston. You know what I mean? It kind of speaks for itself. I love Houston because culturally, it's like nothing like it. It's a melting pot. Growing up in school, like, they were so enthusiastic about pushing us towards creativity and not making us feel like, we had to be one particular thing or, a doctor, an attorney. This is the only way you can be successful. They taught us to stay true to ourselves. And I feel like, you can see with the artists, the athletes that come out of Houston, everybody is they're their own kind of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're originators, they're trendsetters. And it just shows a lot about the city. I love everything about Houston. We got the best food. Don't at me. No, I'm playing. I mean, it's other cities that I love. I love to eat in New Orleans. But I just love the food in Houston. Like, it's comforting. It literally hugs you off the plate.
Yes.
I'm sure you've experienced that.
I have. I got drafted in the Western Conference, and as a rookie, I always felt Houston was my number one destination for all of the things that you said. And I have to say, the adult entertainment establishments too. I can't lie.
You probably know those better than me. I don't frequent those establishments often. So you probably know those better than me.
Yes. So I'm headed to Houston. You talked about eating. What are some of your favorite restaurants in Houston?
Okay, bet. We're going to start off at the Breakfast Club. Shout out to Marcus, the owner. We're going to go to, of course, Turkey Leg Hut. Gosh, there's so many more. Come on, Toya, come on. I can't forget nobody. I'm going to feel terrible. I'm going to feel terrible if I miss. I love Mickey's Soul Food Cafe. I love, we have a lot of different Cajun cafes out here. Papa Do's. You got to go to Papa Do's.
No doubt.
If you stop through Texas, period, you got to go through the Papa Do's, Papacitos. We got Papa's Burgers, Papa's Barbecue. Speaking of barbecue, Burns Barbecue, best barbecue ever. Let's see. Am I forgetting anybody? And if you come during March, then I'm gonna take you to the rodeo, and we're gonna hit up all the spots. I know my boy Bun is going to eventually, hopefully, have a storefront for like
Trill OG. No doubt.
Trying to get me a Trill burger. Haven't been successful yet, but they look tasty, and everybody that's had one is like, it's crazy. So hopefully, when he gets a storefront, or when I can catch them and the lines ain't 3 hours long, then I'll be able to have a Trill burger. Yeah.
Well, you always represent H-Town to the fullest, and those are great restaurant recommendation. I actually got a chance to have a Trill burger live on Good Morning America on TV, served by the Trill OG himself. And it was a contest, and he won the contest, and he's been off ever since. And you mentioned the arts growing up and so many successful people out of your hometown. Who were your musical inspirations?
Come on, you gonna ask me that?
Yes.
I'm gonna start off with B. Come on now.
No doubt.
My cousin Robert Glasper, love him. That's just out of Houston. Those are gonna be my top two. Those are gonna be Meg. I love Meg. Lizzo. All the members of Destiny's Child.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. For sure.
So what was it like? For me, I became famous for public consumption really early. High school, early college years. The same thing happened for you, and you just mentioned it. A founding member of Destiny's Child. Yeah. What was that like at that point in your life? Like, how old were you when you realized that we're world renowned? And how did it make you feel, and how did it change your life?
I didn't feel that till later on, because I mean, we have been working since, well, some of us 9, 10 years old. I got in a group when I was 12, and we were so focused on, you know, getting the album out and touring and doing the work, that we didn't really get to enjoy the, I don't want to say celebrity or being the world renowned anything, because they kept us very focused on just doing the work. And I feel like that was probably a good thing with us being so young, so that, you know, we wouldn't get distracted and start feeling ourselves. Our parents were very involved. So I feel like keeping us grounded and keeping us focused on, you know, doing the work and continuing to grow as artists was probably the best thing for us. So I didn't really get to feel that or see that, and probably until I was out the group. I do remember, like, one time when we had hit #1. We were in London, and you know, they came and told us and showed us the billboard and everything, and we were like, wow, this is amazing, and whoa, what? And we enjoyed it for a little bit, and then we went upstairs, went to bed, because we knew we had to be up early for press. So you know, it wasn't like, oh, let's have a celebration, or, you know, we can't go out and party. Heck, you're 16 years old. So, you know, it's only so much you can do.
Right. And also, as a game-changing group and an artist yourself, what was your favorite tour? Or what was your favorite video shoot? Like a moment that you look back at and was like, this was dope.
You know, I've never been asked that question. And I've been interviewed 50 million times especially about Destiny's Child. Never been asked that question. I would have to say the Boyz II Men tour. We did a Boyz II Men tour, and we just learned so much through that experience, watching them every night. They were, I mean, seriously, who gets better than Boyz II Men? They're, come on now. So, and they, you know, it was 4 of us, you know, we came up learning their harmonies. So to actually share the stage with them was, I mean, it was mind blowing. And then I remember the last night of the tour, we got to have fun, and some of the artists, we were coming on doing their performances, they were coming on doing ours. We had Silly String. Like, I feel sorry for whatever city we were in, because I don't know what kind of show they got. We were doing the absolute most. We still talk, when I run into the guys, we still talk about how crazy that tour was and how that particular show was crazy. But I would have to say it was the Boyz II Men tour that we did.
So many young people, in particular those that look like you and I, feel like sports and entertainment are gonna be our way out. So can you acknowledge for them the sacrifices, the time and energy that went into your craft that sometimes people take for granted?
Oh my God. It was all of it, it consumed us. You know what I mean? Like when my friends were out in the movie, at the movies, mall, having homecomings and proms and stuff, like we didn't really get to experience a normal childhood. You know what I'm saying? We spent that time in rehearsal, watching documentaries on our favorite artists, watching performances of Whitney Houston, Anita Baker, Shaka Khan, the greats. That's how we spent our time. Just like y'all watch tape, we would watch tape. You know what I'm saying? So I almost felt like they were grooming us like athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like we were doing the workouts, we were doing this, like running the track, singing. Like I was like, this is like a real moment here. And I feel like people, especially now with social media, and I love that, like Instagram, YouTube, people have these enormous platforms where they can share their gifts and put out their music, and they don't have to wait for a big machine like a record label to put them out. I think that with that, that's all great, but I don't think they understand, like, because now that's happening so fast. Everything is like kind of not to say everything is microwavable, but in comparison to way, like you watched an icon like Janet Jackson or Michael Jackson, or all of these people who spent years getting to where they are. That's why we can watch their movies. That they put out. The New Edition can put out a movie literally of watching them become the stars that we know today. But it took years. It took years. And I don't think people realize how much hard work, time, dedication, sacrifice, blood, tears goes into it. They just think, oh, I just want to get rich.
Right.
I just want I want to get famous real quick. Like, I'm either gonna have to rap, sing, or play ball. And no, now you can see that, entrepreneurship is growing in our community. People are owning their own business. But like I know, to be an entrepreneur and to be a successful entrepreneur, you're gonna have to take the stairs. It's not an elevator process. So I think some people are unfortunately learning that the hard way, but I'm so blessed that I experienced what I experienced. So one, I can be so grateful for everything that I have right now and everything that I learned, because I know the hard work that it took to get where I am. Just to be able to put a roof over my kid's head and, still be able to do interviews with you and be acknowledged and things like that. But yeah, I think people miss that.
Yes, they do. And I just have to tell you, I appreciate your humility, but you're an icon. You're a legend.
Oh, thank you.
You put in the work. Like you've been doing this since you was 10, 11, 12 years old. And you're right. This is a microwave generation. That means here today, gone tomorrow. The people you talk, Janet Jackson, I saw as Penny on Good Times as a kid.
Come on now, talk to him.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was in the oven for years and years and years before we got a chance to sit at the table and get a serving.
Do you hear me? It took her doing all of that. Finally, she had an album that people don't even realize she had out before she did Control and, got with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And by the time we got to her, she was like, what have you done for me lately? She had a whole attitude about it. You know what I'm saying? She was a dang near a grown woman as a kid because she had been in the industry working her tail off since Penny, before Penny, singing with her brothers. Like, people miss that. But that's why we still gonna go to a Janet concert today.
No doubt. And when her mother, Rolona, who I love, burned her with the iron, I cried. I was like, no, don't do that to Penny. You can't do that to Penny. Yes, but to your point, she put in her work. So I have to ask you, as a fan of the art and as an artist yourself, can you name me your 5 favorite albums?
Just all of the albums?
Yes, ma'am. Your 5 favorite. If you were creating a playlist of 5 albums that you like, I listen to these from beginning to end. These are my faves. Any artist, any genre, what albums, what artists would that be?
Okay, Michael Jackson, Off the Wall.
You're not playing fair.
Not at all. I don't know what Anita's was called, but is it the one with Giving You the Best That I Got? Prince, Purple Rain, Janet, Rhythm Nation. I'm gonna throw Brandy's Full Moon in there, because whether we want to acknowledge it or not, she changed R&B.
Yes, for real, for real.
I'm gonna say Pop. Was it Machiavelli? And what number am I on? I forgot.
This your 5th. Pac is your 5th.
Pac,
is it Machiavelli?
Yeah.
Is it Me Against the World? What do you got?
Ooh, what's that? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say Machiavelli.
Follow me.
Yes.
So your new movie, A Miracle Before Christmas. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Is about a relationship therapist who must use the magic of Christmas to save her own marriage. What made you want to take on a role like this? And what's it like working with the charming and talented Romeo?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So many things. I think after reading the script and going, wow, I can relate so much to it. I don't want to say this is me, because I definitely would have handled a lot of the situations a lot different than she did. But having to balance being a mom and a career woman, a lot of times the fellas don't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But being a wife, a mom, because it's in order to that.
Yes.
In order to that, don't make it get biblical. So having to satisfy so many people and losing yourself at work and not knowing how to prioritize and all these different things that sometimes we have to learn the hard way about. Yep. This character goes through that. And I feel like, some people are going to look at this and go, man, okay, that's what I be out here doing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to take a step back and really reevaluate, the way that, my priorities basically. And this woman had to learn the hard truth, on missing those valuable moments with her children and her family, and, risk losing them, seeing what life was like without them, and, then eventually she comes around and has gratitude and learns that very hard lesson. I hope I didn't tell the movie, but it was an honor, a privilege working with especially Romeo. He's such a professional. He's such a great actor. More importantly, he's such a great person. And unfortunately, and this just goes to show you the kind of man that he is and the professional that he is, but at the same time, you could tell he was trained to, or as far as his upbringing goes, to like, you start something, you finish it. This man lost his sister the last day of shooting.
Wow.
And he came, he finished, and he left, and he continued his mourning.
Wow.
And I was like, there's no way I would have been able to get out of bed. And he as much as I know it hurt him to be there, and as a challenge, as challenging as it was, he was like, I don't want to, he made it seem like I don't want to, inconvenience anybody else. I know this is our last day of shooting. There would have to be a whole nother shoot day or a week or something. The whole process would be, prolonged. But he was like, I start whatever, I'm going to finish what I start. And
that's incredible.
Show up with a great attitude. And that just says so much about him. And I have a whole nother respect for him after that. So shout out to Rome, my bro Rome.
No doubt. Absolutely. And you've alluded to this. I was raised by a single mom. And you talked about being a single mom. And
you hear the gremlins downstairs.
No doubt. And rightfully so. Hope they can come run in if they want to. It's all good.
We wouldn't be able to finish because they would be all up in this camera. It would be a moment. Trust me.
And I understand, and as you alluded to, it's hard to talk about the struggles of a single mother. Yeah. But I see you on YouTube, you're sharing, you're caring, you're inspiring. So what inspired you to share that part of your life through your online platforms?
I just felt like so many people, we have so many commonalities. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted some other single mother or mothers or single father to know that they're not alone, that we're going through this thing together, that we don't have it together all the time, that we mess up and we need the grace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to create a platform where people could have conversation and feel comfortable and feel like they could be transparent. And I felt like in order to do that, I needed to be transparent. And I needed to be the one to say, I don't have it together all the time. And that this is hard. And that there are nights that I cry. And when my children are away, I miss them. And, did I make the right decision? Or, and to show my therapist, like I'm still doing the work. People might see me smiling and carrying on, and I'm, making movies and putting out albums and doing shows, but I'm on my therapist every Wednesday.
No doubt. No doubt.
Trying to keep it together.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I decided to do Leave It to LeToya.
And it's necessary. We talk a lot about that on this program, mental health and wellness. And I'm somebody that's heavily not only into therapy, but promoting it because, as you mentioned, there are no perfect parents or people. And whoever you encountered just got out of a storm, is in a storm, or about to go through a storm.
You better talk to them.
That's absolute fact. And so for that, what advice do you have for those that are finding their path, but like us, need to overcome barriers in order to get there?
The first thing that you can do is admit that you need help. And that and I think we make that sound like a bad word, and it's not, y'all. Like, it's not. The perfect one left us thousands of years ago. The perfect one that walked this earth left thousands of years ago. We have imperfections. And nobody is going to be perfect, but I think my goal as a person, and I feel like a part of my purpose, is to help people to be transparent and also to love hard. And I would say to anybody that is trying to figure it out, let it be your testimony. You're going to come out of this. Hope is what we have most of the time. It's all we have most of the time. So hoping for the best, but also while you're in the storm, use the tools that are provided for you, like the therapy, like prayer. Get you a good tribe of friends around you, your family. Learn to eliminate people that aren't for you. Learn to get those naysayers out of your ear. The people that constantly want to be negative, the people that are constantly, and some of them hope you stay there, unfortunately. So being able to use your, how can I say this nicely? That radar that picks up,
no
the
doubt.
people that are for you and could be against you. Lean into that. And in order for you to, I think, do that, you have to get still. I think we find ourselves on that, I like to call it the treadmill, going nowhere fast, trying to work and think and how do we that you're not getting still and allowing God to work. Yes. And that comes with meditation. That comes with prayer time. And this is just how I fix it. It might not be for everybody else, but I feel like taking your time and getting quiet and getting still
Mhm.
and actually hearing from God and getting settled instead of just being reactive could help to solve some of those issues as well.
Be still and know. And a lot of times we underestimate our strength actually relies in our vulnerability, because we have the ability to look in the mirror. Do you see yourself, strengths, weaknesses, flaws, and all? Or do you see an agent, a manager, a representative, or a hype person? When you able to separate the two, it puts you in a position to be still, like you just described.
Yeah. Yes. People miss it though. They feel like, no, I got to get out there. I got to do this and and you making all the wrong. You become bull in the china shop, trying to figure it out. Whereas if you just get calm and get still for a minute, and I think the problem with that is people feel like they're losing time and they're losing out. When in fact, if you take the time to get still, it'll help to figure all that out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So after December 23rd, when I ask people this question, they're going to be saying, A Miracle Before Christmas is one of my favorite holiday films. So hopefully. I have to ask you, because I know you had to think about it, research, and get into character, so to speak, before you guys did this movie. So what are some of your favorite holiday or Christmas films?
Okay, this Christmas, The Holiday, Serendipity, oh God, what's the one with Whitney? I love it. Oh man, it's not First Lady. What is it? What is that? Preacher's Wife.
Preacher's Wife.
First Lady. Gosh, that's just to name a few. I watched Serendipity the other day, and it just makes me smile. It's a great Christmas movie. Of course, Home Alone. Oh gosh, I wish we had more movies with people. I wish we were brought up on more movies, Christmas movies, holiday movies, with people that look like us.
Yes.
But I don't think that we had as many back then. So when I think about, and I'm, of course, now doing all the promotion for this holiday film, I've been asked that question a lot. And I'm like, why only got like 2 movies? Black folk in them. And everything.
What had happened was,
you know what I mean? So I'm glad, even in this year I did too. We got to get more movies. We got to get more urban holiday films.
Yes.
We got to make more. Yes.
No doubt we do. And one you might want to think about, and I've argued with people, do you feel like Trading Places is a Christmas movie?
Stop it. Okay, so Trading Places is one of my all-time favorite movies. But if you're right, because the scene where he opens up and he's on his knees and he's talking to the cops, it was definitely holiday season. That whole movie is based around holiday. You're so right.
I'm trying to tell you. I've been arguing with people about this for years. That's a Christmas movie and it's a classic.
You know what? It's coming to America as well. Because if you think of when he went to New York, that was Christmas time. Wow.
He had all of those bags. It was snow outside. All of that.
Was. And when King Joffrey when he rolled up in the snow with the Benzes, that shot, was there reefs on it?
Yes.
You know what? You're exactly right. Coming to America, Trading Places.
Yes.
This Christmas, Preacher's Wife. Then we'll get into Serendipity, and we'll get into Home Alone. Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. And I appreciate you taking the time. But before I let you get out of here, I have a rapid fire segment called Gone in 60 Seconds. You ready to do this?
Oh my God, I'm terrified. Let's go.
I got you. It's all love, because I asked you about the Christmas movies. I have to ask you, what is your go-to holiday album?
Wow. I'm gonna say the one for the Whispers, but Mariah Carey. I'm gonna say Mariah Carey because I love that holiday album. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Don't add me.
That's dope. And I see you on social, on IG, and you be serving up the fly looks. And we talk about fashion on here. You really can't be on this show if you ain't fly. So you have to tell me, think back to your career, think back to your red carpets, think back to your shows, your videos. What is the flyest outfit that you feel like you wore?
Are you serious?
Yes. You got that picture either on your phone, in the wall, it's somewhere. The flyest picture, you like, you know what? I was fly this day.
I think for right now, because I can't remember that far back, but most recently I wore this green dress I hosted the Soul Train Awards red carpet, and there was this green dress, and I was styled by Jay Bolin, and I felt very beautiful that day. So I'm gonna say the green dress.
Soul Train, what a classic. I looked up to Don Cornelius when I was little, and you may or may not know this. Each time that somebody went to the board to answer a question, they always got it right because he didn't want to have Black people looking uneducated on TV. So if somebody was doing the shuffle and they started struggling, it was somebody behind them that would tell them the answer because he always wanted to uplift our people.
Wow, I love that. They
True
did
story.
always get it right. Thank you, Don.
True story. And you mentioned, again, representing H-Town. What are we doing for the holidays? Tell me what's Christmas like in H-Town.
It's probably going to be hot because you never know with the weather. You might get an 80-degree Christmas. So a lot of times my family celebrates Christmas on Christmas Eve. We start about 7 o'clock and we go to, at least 4 or 5 people's houses. We have food at at their home. We open the gifts and then we go to the next person's house and we do that till midnight. And then we wake up the next morning and we enjoy, our Christmas gifts and then we go to brunch. So that's how I've been doing Christmas pretty much my whole life.
That's awesome. And lastly, but certainly not least, audience is going to see starting December 23rd, A Miracle Before Christmas. What are you most excited about them taking away from the movie?
Family, love, values. I think gratitude. So be careful what you wish for.
Absolutely.
Be careful watch what your words are so important. So watch what you say. Your words are so powerful. And this woman said one thing: I want them to see what life is like without me. And she got a taste of what life was actually like without her family. And she lost it. So
because
words are powerful.
Yes. And it's so easy to get lost in what's underneath the tree versus the love that's around the tree.
Come on, talk to him.
Surrounding it. So I'm forever grateful that you took the time, LeToya Luckett, to join me on Renaissance Man. Look forward to supporting all your projects soon.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun.